Current Affair MCQs. Hello everyone, welcome to Current Affair MCQs program. Let's begin with previous day's practice question. Question was, consider the following statements regarding foreign investment in India. 1. India's domestic savings are insufficient to fund its growth, necessitating the import of foreign capital in various forms. 2. Foreign direct investment is considered more stable and beneficial for India's economy compared to foreign portfolio investment. 3. FPIs exceeding a 10% stake in an Indian company are automatically reclassified as FDI without requiring government approval or investee company concurrence. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none? The correct answer is option B, only two. India's domestic savings are indeed insufficient to finance its growth entirely, so it relies on foreign capital imports in various forms to bridge the gap. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Foreign direct investment is preferred over foreign portfolio investment because FDI generally brings in long-term capital, technology, and management practices which have a broader and more stable impact on the economy. Hence, statement 2 is correct. FPIs exceeding a 10% stake in an Indian company do not automatically get reclassified as FDI. According to the new guidelines, reclassification requires government approval and the concurrence of the investee company along with adherence to other regulatory conditions. Hence, statement 3 is not correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Now, let's begin today's episode. First question is, consider the following. 1. Ram Leela. 2. Mudiyettu. 3. Sankirtan. 4. Kumbh Mela. Which of the above have been recognized under UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage of India? 1 and 2 only, 1 and 3 only, 1, 2 and 3 only, or all of the above? The correct answer is option D, all of the above. Intangible cultural heritage is the practices, expressions, knowledge and skills that communities, groups and sometimes individuals recognize as part of their cultural heritage. Also called living cultural heritage, it is usually expressed in one of the following forms: oral traditions, performing arts, social practices, rituals and festive events, knowledge and practices concerning nature and the universe, traditional craftsmanship. Intangible cultural heritage element and year of inscription are Kutiyattam Sanskrit Theatre 2008, Tradition of Vedic Chanting 2008, Ram Leela, the traditional performance of the Ramayana 2008, Chhau Dance 2010, Kalbelia Folk Songs and Dances of Rajasthan 2010, Mudiyettu Ritual Theatre and Dance Drama of Kerala 2010, Buddhist Chanting of Ladakh 2012, Sankirtan Ritual Singing, Drumming and Dancing of Manipur 2013, Traditional Brass and Copper Craft of Utensil Making Punjab 2014, Nowruz 2016, Yoga 2016, Kumbh Mela 2017, Durga Puja in Kolkata 2021 and Garba of Gujarat 2023. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Next question, consider the following statements. 1. The event horizon is the core of a black hole, marking the point where the escape velocity is equal to the speed of light. 2. A stellar black hole is formed when the core of a very massive star undergoes a catastrophic collapse at the end of its life cycle. Which of the statements given above are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2? The correct answer is option B, 2 only. The event horizon is the boundary of a black hole, marking the point where the escape velocity is equal to the speed of light. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. A stellar black hole is formed when the core of a very massive star undergoes a catastrophic collapse at the end of its life cycle. Hence, statement 2 is correct. This process is driven by the fundamental physics of gravity, nuclear fusion, and the balance between the outward pressure from nuclear reactions and the inward pull of gravity. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Next question, the participatory guarantee system sometimes seen in the news is related to which of the following? Water conservation methods in agriculture, regulation of GMO crops, certification of organic products, or promotion of chemical fertilizers in farming. The correct answer is option C, certification of organic products. The participatory guarantee system is an alternative process for certifying organic products in India, managed by the Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare. It provides certification in the form of a logo or a statement and allows organic farmers full control over the certification process. However, PGS certification is only available to farmers or communities that can organize and operate as a collective group. Individual farmers or groups smaller than 5 members are excluded. The certification applies to on-farm activities like crop production, processing, and livestock rearing, but does not cover off-farm processing activities such as storage, transport, or value addition carried out by non-PGS members or agencies. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Next question, consider the following statements. 1. The National Disaster Management Authority is headed by the Union Home Minister and operates under the Ministry of Home Affairs. 2. The Cabinet Committee on Management of Natural Calamities coordinates disaster response during emergencies, prepares the national plan for disaster management based on national policies, and monitors the implementation of NDMA guidelines. Which of the statements given above are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option D, neither 1 nor 2. That is, both the statements are incorrect. The National Disaster Management Authority is headed by the Prime Minister of India and operates under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. The Disaster Management Division is the nodal division in the Ministry of Home Affairs for disaster management. The NEC, that is National Executive Committee, is the executive arm of the NDMA that coordinates disaster response during emergencies, prepares the national plan for disaster management based on national policies, and monitors the implementation of NDMA guidelines. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. The Cabinet Committee on Management of Natural Calamities was established to oversee the management of natural disasters, including assessing the situation, identifying impact-reducing measures, and recommending long-term prevention strategies. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Next question, with reference to central bank digital currencies, consider the following statements. 1. Despite both CBCD and cryptocurrencies being digital currencies, CBDCs are comparatively more stable. 2. The Reserve Bank of India introduced the digital rupee in 2022 as India's CBDC. 3. CBDCs are exchangeable one-to-one with the fiat currency. Which of the above statements is or are correct? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 only, or 1, 2 and 3. The correct answer is option D, 1, 2 and 3. Central bank digital currency are a digital form of a paper currency, and unlike private cryptocurrencies, CBDCs are backed by the central bank, ensuring stability and trust. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Reserve Bank of India launched the digital rupee in 2022 as central bank digital currency. Hence, statement 2 is correct. It is the same as a fiat currency and is exchangeable one-to-one with the fiat currency. Hence, statement 3 is correct. A fiat currency is a national currency that is not pegged to the price of a commodity such as gold or silver. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Next question, regarding the Partnerships for Accelerated Innovation and Research program, consider the following statements. 1. It is the new flagship program launched by the NITI Aayog. 2. It aims to enhance university research by using a hub-and-spoke model, pairing top-tier universities with emerging institutions for mentorship and collaboration. Which of the statements given above are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option B, 2 only. The Anusandhan National Research Foundation has launched the Partnerships for Accelerated Innovation and Research program to enhance research capabilities in Indian universities. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. ANRF acts as an apex body to provide high-level strategic direction of scientific research in the country as per recommendations of the NEP. PAIR aims to enhance university research by using a hub-and-spoke model, pairing top-tier universities with emerging institutions for mentorship and collaboration. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hub institutions, including the top 25 National Institutional Ranking Framework ranked universities and top 50 institutions of national importance, will mentor spoken institutions, central and state public universities with limited research infrastructure. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Next question, consider the following statements. 1. India is the world's largest tea producer and exporter. 2. 70% of tea plantations are near forest, resulting in frequent conflicts with wildlife, such as elephants, causing damage to crops and plantations. Which of the statements given above is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option B, 2 only. India is the world's 4th largest tea exporter, with exports valued at $793.78 million in 2022-23, primarily to destinations like the United Arab Emirates, Russia, Iran, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. China is the world's largest producer and exporter of tea. 70% of tea plantations are near forests, resulting in frequent conflicts with wildlife such as elephants, causing damage to crops and plantations. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Next question, consider the following statements. 1. UNESCO Global Geoparks are unified geographical areas designated for a period of 4 years, after which they undergo revalidation. 2. Geoheritage sites can include volcanic formations, fossil-rich areas, caves, mountain ranges, glacial features, and mineral-rich regions. Which of the statements given above is or are not correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option D, neither 1 nor 2. That is, both the statements are correct. UNESCO Global Geoparks are unified geographical areas with internationally significant geological sites managed with a holistic approach to protection, education, and sustainable development. Geoheritage sites are locations that have geological significance due to their unique rock formations, fossils, mineral deposits, or landforms. UNESCO Global Geoparks are designated for 4 years, after which they undergo revalidation. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Global presence. As of now, there are a total of 213 UNESCO Global Geoparks across 48 countries, but India has no global geoparks. Example, Dali Kangshan, UNESCO Global Geopark in China. Diversity. Geoheritage sites can include volcanic formations, fossil-rich areas, caves, mountain ranges, glacial features, and mineral-rich regions. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Next question, consider the following statements related to recently discovered Dicliptera polymorpha. 1. It is fire resistant, able to withstand summer droughts. 2. It has inflorescence flower structures that are uncommon in Indian species. 3. It thrives on open grassland slopes in the Western Ghats. How many of the above statements is or are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none? The correct answer is option C, all 3. Dicliptera polymorpha exhibits several unique traits that contribute to its resilience and adaptability. Notably, it is fire resistant, able to withstand summer droughts and adapt to grassland fires. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The species follows a dual blooming pattern, flowering once after the monsoon and again in May-June following fires. Morphologically, it stands out due to its inflorescence flower structures, which are rare among Indian species but resemble those found in African counterparts. Hence, statement 2 is correct. It thrives in harsh conditions, particularly on open grassland slopes in the Western Ghats. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Last question, consider the following characteristics. 1. Launched the Ulgulan movement in 1899. 2. Arrested by British authorities in 1900 along with his guerrilla group in the Jamkopai forest. 3. The state of Jharkhand was established on his birth anniversary in 2000. Which of the following personalities is best described by these characteristics? Sidhu Murmu, Birsa Munda, Lakshman Nayak, or Tirot Singh? The correct answer is option B, Birsa Munda. Birsa Munda, born on 15th November 1875 in the Chota Nagpur Plateau, Birsa Munda was a prominent tribal leader from the Munda community. Growing up amidst the struggles of tribal life, he founded the Birsait sect to resist British colonialism and missionary efforts to convert tribal people. In 1899, he launched the Ulgulan movement using guerrilla tactics to resist British authority and promote the idea of Birsa Raj. Arrested by British police in 1900 with his guerrilla group in the Jamkopai forest, Munda died in mysterious circumstances in Ranchi jail at the age of 25. His efforts led to laws protecting tribal land rights, and his legacy is honored with the establishment of Jharkhand on his birth anniversary in 2000. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Now moving on to practice question regarding Guru Nanak, consider the following statements. 1. He was the first of the 10 Sikh Gurus. 2. His birth anniversary is celebrated as the Prakash Parv. 3. He was a proponent of Nirgun school of the Bhakti movement and was influenced by Kabir Das. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only 1, only 2, all 3, or none? Send the answer of this question in the comment section. Thanks for watching.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.